Hello and welcome everybody, and thank you for joining me once again. My name is Wilkie and I am back with another Black Desert video, though there's not gonna be really any gameplay footage or anything flown around. I'm going to be talking about the recent Korean, or the recent Musa quote-unquote rework that hit Korea last patch. First of all, I would not call it a rework, but just a buff. But, like, honestly, they kind of hyped it up as if there was going to be massive, like, actual rework changes, like mechanical things changing to the class, but it turned out to be that there was just basically another, well, yeah, traditional buff, really. There was the number crunching, there was stuff added, cost reduced and stuff like that, which, for me personally, is just really another buff. Nonetheless, is going to help Musa on the journey, so we're just gonna go ahead and go through the patch notes. They're not really the patch notes, or at least I don't think so. I'm basically taking the Invent Global article for reference. I'll post the article in the description below, so if you want to check it out and read it for yourself, you just have to open the description and find it there. Anyways, we're just gonna start off with something that applies to both Mawa and Musa. And first of all, they fixed our down smash. For those of you who do not know, what happens is that at times when Musa's Mawa is hit with a down smash, which basically extends the grounded CC of enemies, like if you lift somebody with a grab, well, we don't have a grab as Musa, but if you float or knock down somebody, a down smash would extend the state on which the enemy is lying on the ground. Unfortunately, at times, if you were to extend the grounded CC with a down smash, it would push people away to God knows where, basically into oblivion, making combos basically unable to connect. So that one is apparently being fixed, which is really good, because that means those are going to be a lot more reliable or actually working. Second of all, this is probably one of the biggest changes. Dragon Bite will now have forward guard for both Musa and Mawa. Makes sense since they both pretty much use the same skill. So we're now going to get a 3-second, or a skill that has a 3-second cooldown with a forward guard, which is a very good engage. It's a very quick executed move, and we now have protection on him, so that gives us one tool at least, while sure not having like an AoE initiation. It's a very good opener for a fight that gives you forward guard, so that's definitely a very good change in my opinion, and that would help with one of the key issues that Musa have, that there's very little to no safe initiation for them, since all of the other opening skills you would use either have SA, like super armor, or basically nothing at all. So that one is, I think, definitely very good. They then fixed a tooltip, basically now telling you that you can cancel blooming while chasing. And another interesting change is that basic attack has increased by 17 on average based on level 60. So that means PvE damage is going to be plus 17. I don't know if that's going to be like sheet AP or just monster attack or something like that. But they also said or wrote that they will decrease the PvP damage in order to keep the damage constant. So that means they just want to help Musa in PvE, but keep the damage as is in PvP, which makes sense because Musa's damage in PvP is quite alright. That's not really one of the issues that I would address anytime soon, unless anything else would be fixed. So that's actually a pretty good change. The animation delay of flow backflow has been reduced. I'm not entirely sure what that entitles to. Maybe these skills are just going to be used faster. Because if you do not cancel backflow, it kind of has a very wonky animation at the end. I'm not entirely sure what this one really does, but we have to see that for ourselves. Now, Crust Crusher's cooldown has been reduced by 5 seconds. That's always a plus. I mean, 5 seconds is a pretty good buff on that skill. What's more important is that Crust Crusher's attack speed has increased. This is important for a multitude of reasons. Crust Crusher is a very good AoE. Can be used to bait people, and because it has forward guard, so that's very good. Also, it has a down smash property, and as said initially, they fixed down smashes. So combos with Crust Crusher now actually might be more viable, especially with the attack speed increase, so that you actually are able to chain up Crust Crusher into certain combos. So that's a very interesting buff, and that one might be very helpful for both PvE and PvE. So Fiery Crevice can hit one more time, so that's pretty much a Fiery Crevice right now has hit times 2, So with that, that would be times 3, meaning a pretty much 50% damage increase given you would hit all 3 hits. So that's pretty good. Now, for me, probably the best change in the whole patch notes is the Twister will now consume 150 instead of 300 stamina. If you played Musa, you know that Twister just burned your stamina like hell, basically making it quite tedious to manage your stamina properly without just either not having frontal guard up, not using Twister, or, you know, just depleting your stamina and then just being a gimped Musa because you can't dash around. So that one's pretty good. Fiery Angel, Foul Play, Musa Spirit generally just got the same treatment. They got 100 stamina cost removed, all of those, which just adds to the layer that stamina management is generally going to be easier now, which is pretty much welcome because, you know, stamina gets depleted quite quickly if you dash around, so you did have to keep an eye on that, and that will definitely help, especially the Twister one. I think that's a very, very good change. Now, one step back, we'll now have forward guard when the attack starts. I'm not entirely sure why they thought that's necessary, how that's supposed to help. I personally don't see that skill used in any scenario, to be honest. I sometimes use it in PvE to recover willpower or for shits and giggles. But, honestly, well, I mean, it doesn't hurt, obviously. So it's not like it's bad. I just think, other skills, like for example below the belt, would have used that forward guard a lot more efficiently. So, but that's how it is, really. At least we're getting changes that do help and fix some of the issues Musa have, so that's always a plus. And the AoE foul play has increased and the skill has been reworked so the AoE matches the graphics. So that's for those of you obviously who play Musa again, Foul Play is the follow-up of Crust Crusher, and it has a very strange hitbox. It behaves kind of weird, especially if enemies are close. It tends to just fire past them, not hit them properly. So I assume this might fix that issue, though I have yet to test any of those things myself. And last but not least, Foul Play will not have a cooldown anymore. So that basically means whenever you use Crust Crusher, you can always use Foul Play, which is really good. Because in the past, Crust Crusher had a shorter cooldown than Foul Play, so at times, you would not have both of them ready. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I have to rate those things, I'd say it's definitely going in a good direction. It's not majorly, like, devastating. That's probably the wrong word. That's like, first of all, it's not a rework in my opinion. I think it's just a buff, which, meh. We were kind of expecting things to change a little bit, or more than just a little bit. But ultimately we just received buffs, but they are still gonna help how Musa is currently viewed and played, and maybe that's just gonna push them a little bit off the super low tier edge. That's always appreciated. So for me, really, the Dragon Bite forward guard is really good, as well as Twister stamina consumption. I think those are going to be the things that will mostly affect PvP plays, along with Crust Crusher. I'm not entirely sure how much of the basic attack increase is going to be playing a role, because Musa is really good in PvE as long as you're grinding small mobs or mobs that die fast. Like pirates, Nagas, anything that dies quickly is very good to grind as a Musa. Anything that doesn't die quickly is kind of tedious. If you've ever been to Akman with a Musa, you know the pain of dealing with mobs like that. So maybe that'll help a little bit with that issue and make heavier or like more tougher grinds, but like that more convenient, I guess, to grind for Musa. Anyway, this is really my input on those. I think it's good. I think it's going in the right direction. I would just wish they wouldn't have called it rework. We were expecting something else. And there's one thing I'd like to mention, and that accuracy is not mentioned at all. So we're basically still stuck on running quite a lot of accuracy to counter Musa's not so great base accuracy. And yeah, I mean, it works. I just wish there would have been a bit more, but one step at a time. That's definitely a step in the right direction. I'm happy so far. I'm curious to see when we will actually get those patches. And there's probably still hope on the horizon. I'm sure they will just keep on reworking Musa. I don't think they're completely finished now with that. Anyways, that is all for now. I hope you had a great day, and my fellow Musas, we'll probably see you guys in game next time.